Hey guys, welcome to the birthday sale breakdown, where I'm going to go over how we did over 100,000 in the birthday sale, primarily over a 33-hour period of time. Now, some of it was technically before on the first 90 days webinar, but between everything we did over 100,000, and I just want to show you what we did right, what we did wrong, and what I've done wrong in the past, what I've done right in the past, and so the mistakes you can avoid. I'm going to go through all the different emails in this promo. So, to give you some background here, the first birthday sale I ever did was my 30th birthday, and it was a big deal because I'd never done one of these before. It was the big 3-0. I made a big deal out of it, and we did over $100,000 to a list that at the time was only about 6,600 people, which is an insane amount per person. And then I've done 2 birthday sales in between for my 31st and 32nd, and now, first off, I didn't make them a big deal, so that's part of why they didn't perform insanely well. But they probably did 20 to 25 grand. And so the biggest mistakes there was that I was basically trying to sell a bunch of different things at once. I think one of them, we basically said, hey, email us what products you want and we'll take 31% off whatever you want, and sent them to a page that had like 15 of my products listed on it. And the problem with that is you're giving people all of this chance to be confused. Confusion kills sales, and there were all of these different products and they have to go and decide which one's right for them. And it did fine. On the first birthday sale, I promoted I think 3 to 5 products, and one of them was new. That's a big thing. The trigger training was a new one, and it was $2,100, and I think around 20 people bought that, so about 44,000 to maybe 40% of the sales came from that one offer and the rest from other stuff. Now, I promoted pretty much the same things this year for my 33rd birthday, and the problem with that, and it's not really a huge problem, but if I'd wanted to make more money, I would have had some sort of new offer in there as well, because people on my list have bought so many of my courses that they've already bought these. So had I provided them with something they've never bought before, that never existed before, I would have made quite a bit more, but I didn't want to do that, and I'm happy with the results. A lot of the sales, about 70%, actually came from 90 Days to Freedom. So the biggest first piece of advice I have here is pick 3 to 5 products max. I'd say 3, and focus on those as what you're selling. And basically, and I'll show you the emails, but how you have almost like a mini few paragraph sales page in the email so that people can then click through to the ones that they're most interested in. But the big mistake here is trying to sell a bunch of different things. And also, if you're going to do it, make a big deal out of it, or don't. Don't do this maybe every year, but it does make a bunch of profit when I do it right, so it's pretty tempting to do it each time. And so, looking back, the biggest difference was, again, having a new product that people hadn't purchased yet that was quite expensive, and then also just focusing on only a few things. If you give people the option, basically what I did is they could click through to a page, there were like 15 products, and they're just going to go to that page and be like, I don't know which one to get, and they make no decision. Another huge thing here is keep the sale window really short. I'm actually doing this with pretty much all my sales now. If you give people a week to buy, they take all week. They buy on day 1, they buy on the last day, and a few people buy in between. But if you give people a really short pressure cooker window, they make quicker buying decisions that are actually going to help them more because you're applying this pressure to them to buy. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through this. So 90 days, like I said, was a huge part of this. 90 days has been a $5,800 program for a long time. But back in, I think, March, we started testing it at $2,000 to cold traffic because I split with my business partner, and I want to be able to sell this course without a phone sales team. And so that's why we've been testing it at this. My goal is to help as many people as possible get the course. Anything less than 2K, and it's honestly just devaluing what it is. 2K is still very low for what it is, but like I said, if I can sell it without a phone team, that's a huge thing for me because managing a whole phone sales team is a nightmare that I have no interest in being a part of anymore. So what I did is it was almost like 2 promos going on at the same time here, because I didn't want to promote this to people who had already bought 90 Days to Freedom, because I didn't want to cause any blowback of people who had spent $5,800 this year. The reality is those people who spent $5,800 got all the value, got the product when they got it, and I've had 0 complaints. But I still wanted to just protect them from this so that it wasn't them getting bombarded with a better offer for a thing they've already purchased. So I excluded them, and the week before my birthday I did this email basically about 90 Days to Freedom and why I've decided to test a new price. I didn't tell them the actual price in here, but I said that it's going to be cheaper than it's ever been. And I picked 1914 as the price instead of 2K because it was 66% off. So instead of 33% off, I made it 33% of the normal $5,800 price, which came out to $1,914. So what I did here is I did a webinar, and I only promoted it like a day before, which was silly. Had I promoted this a couple days before, I could have got a lot more people on, but had 10 or 12 sales the first day from this, and then basically the rest of the sales all came during that 33-hour open window for this offer. So this was the webinar registration one. This went out to actually 100,000 people. I have 100,000 contacts in my place, but I only send to about 34,000, and so I sent to the entire list, added a couple of thousand to my list through engagement stuff, which is beyond the scope of what we're talking about here, but basically sent this to everybody that had ever been on the list who wasn't on 90 days, even if they'd never opened an email. About half of the traffic you buy online these days, if it's on YouTube especially, they don't even ever open an email, so you're really paying double what you think you're paying for leads. So for my birthday, it'll be less expensive than it's ever been. It used to cost me, and this is all true, it used to cost over $100,000 a month to run this program. Now it's down to $50,000. I'm trying to pass those savings on to you, register for the webinar, then I did the webinar. So this was the replay and birthday sale extravaganza. So you can see this was sent to 18,000 people. I think this is anybody who had opened in the last 7 days. And so big open rate at 47%, lots of clicks. And then this was basically, here's the replay, 90% of people stayed on for the full hour, which was true and awesome. And then sort of gave them a teaser of how the sale was going to work for my birthday sale. So a lot of this you'll see is build-up work. I'm doing as much as I can leading up to the sale to build up tension, build up desire, so that by the time I sort of release that pressure valve, they're like, yes, I'm ready to buy. So I'm taking off at least 33% of products over $300 for 33 hours starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. A huge thing of this that I want to be really clear on is to focus on having a reason why. So obviously, one big reason why you're doing this is for your birthday. That's really the main reason why. Now, there's a secondary piece to a reason why sale, which is try to make it easy to understand and remember. So that's why I do it this way, where it's my 33rd birthday, taking off 33% of products over $300 for 33 hours starting at 3. And it gives people this really simple understanding that the number 3 is very involved in this particular sale, right? So if you're turning 44, you would do the same thing for that, or whatever the age is that you are. And you don't have to pick the number based on your age. I just like to do it that way. So here's the products I'm going to tell them. And so what I do here, you'll notice, is I'm giving them the full price here, $2,497, $997, $997. And then I took anywhere from 33 to 66% off of these products. This one I made $1,000, which was really silly. Probably should have just made this more expensive, but that's okay. So basically, you have these mini little sales pages, sales letters here next to them. By sales letter, I mean like 4 or 5 paragraphs. But you can see I chose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 products for this, right? And this is pretty much the same as the sale I did on my 30th birthday, which is why I would have made a lot more this time had I changed it up a little. But this was, I think, the best offers to make anyways. So I also, one thing here that's probably worth noting, these are products I don't sell very often. So when I was discounting them massively, I didn't feel like I'm screwing myself over for the future. I was just, because I don't want to go, if there's something I'm selling regularly, I don't want to go and make that part of this, because then it's going to actually hurt me in the long term. The point here is to leverage products you already have that maybe you don't sell as often anymore, is what I like to do at least. So this is just sort of the replay as well as the teasing about the birthday sale extravaganza. So there's the subject line, replay and crazy V-Day sale details. Next email, become a certified email copywriter. So this is sort of a new hook because we've added the certification piece to 90 days. Again, this email only went to these emails only went to people who had not purchased 90 days yet. So I'm creating an email copy certification, go through 90 days. In the certification, you'll get these benefits. The test is not going to be easy. Click here to register now. So that was for the same thing. And then I like to do this a lot. I don't see other people, but here's the email I sent yesterday in case you missed it. You don't want to make assumptions that people have read it. So I like to put that in there as well again. So another registration email, and this was today. So this was the day of. So this was sent, I think, a few hours. Let's see. This was sent 9:29, so I think 3 hours or so before the actual webinar. Now again, had I promoted this 2 or 3 days in advance, 4 days in advance, I would have had a lot more, but I had a ton of registrants, a lot of people showed up, and really good results on the webinar. So there's that one, and then, so that was obviously in between the replay that I sent. Some of this is off in the sequence just because of ActiveCampaign. Now this is the email that went to everybody, so the people who hadn't bought 90 days were basically getting 2 or 3 emails a day, which can seem like a lot, but it works really well. Okay, so I'm about to head downtown for a comedy show, so birthday sale starts in 18 hours. Again, just more and more build up. Ian is Old was the sub from name. Show sold out, best birthday present possible. Before I go out, I wanted to tease you how this wild sale is going to work. So again, same thing here, but to everybody. Again, don't assume people are reading everything, so just continuously making it really clear what they're getting and why and what's going to happen. All right, so there's birthday sale tomorrow, birthday sale starting now. Okay, so this is it goes live. And message, please show up. Birthday sale starting now, ends in 33 hours from Ian Stanley. It's officially live. Again, I'm not writing a bunch of new copy because I know what I'm doing here, but now the prices are announced here. You want to make them clear here. Normally 3,000, 66% off, 1,000 right now. Normally 2,000, sometimes 1,000, 666. Didn't mean to make that some weird devil number. It just happened to be that that was the right amount. Normally 497, sometimes 397, just 197 for the Ultimate Persuasion Workshop, 50% off Exponential Income Skill, and 50% off the 80/20 List Management course. Okay, so here I'm announcing that, and if you click on any of these links, it'll go to the sales page for that core offer so that people can go look at it and purchase. And what I did is I keep the price, the full price, in ClickFunnels until I do the sale, and then I go and change everything, and that way people go and see it, that it is legitimately the price I said, and it's not some fake discount, and they go, oh, this is real, I trust this guy, now I'm going to buy. This was a real direct one. You can see I sent this to a ton of people again, that's why the open rate's lower. This was sent, I think, at the same time that it just opened. So this was again to the people who did not buy, who had already or had not already bought 90 Days to Freedom. So it's a real straightforward sales email. It's normally $5,800. I'm charging 33% of the normal price. So until midnight Pacific time, it's $1,914. That's a savings of $3,886. I know this isn't a very entertaining email, it's just straightforward, here's the deal, but I want to make sure you knew the deal while the offer was available. So at this point, the only way to have known what the discount was would have been to go and watch the full webinar, which a lot of people won't necessarily do. So this, I wanted to make it clear what the price was in the email so that they understood what they were getting rather than making them sit through an entire thing in order to find out the discount. Because a lot of these people, maybe they've talked to a sales guy before, they've been interested in 90 days, but they haven't bought yet, and now this is their best chance to do so, which is why we ended up making $72,000 from this part of the sale alone. Now this is still during the sale, best email courses on earth, and this is basically saying some of the best email marketing courses I've ever made are a part of the sale. If you've ever wanted them, today's the day to get them. Whether you have your own list, freelancer, copywriter, you want to become on these courses will make you better. If you have any questions, reply and I'll do my best. So people were replying and asking, hey, is this the right thing for me? What situation am I in? And Whitney, my girlfriend and customer service person who does a bunch of other stuff too, was replying, and then I was replying to some as well if people had a good question that I felt was worthy of a response. And so we were helping sort of guide them, which is worth doing during these 33 hours to get, you know, if people are 1 or 2 questions away from a $2,000 purchase and you can get 10 of those to go, that's $20,000 extra dollars that you wouldn't have had otherwise. So this is this one, best email courses on earth. Again, real just sort of straightforward, but I wanted people to know, hey, this is, you know, a really good deal. Again, another reminder, this one went to 26,000, I think this was 30-day openers. So anybody who's open in 30 days, at this point during a sale, I'm not going to send ever to anybody when it's like closing emails. I'm not going to send to people who haven't opened in the last 30 days at least, because at this point they're not interested. They've gotten multiple emails and they haven't opened. So in case you missed it, I want to let you know today's the last day of the 90 Days of Freedom birthday sale. Here's the replay because I wanted people to have a chance to watch this if they hadn't yet. Here's the direct link to grab the course. You get 3 coaching calls every week you can take advantage of. Each coach has gone from 0 to doing 6 figures themselves. So again, I could have done a lot more for this leading up with like specific, you know, hooks of like pre-coaching, which is crazy. We have 3 coaching calls every week as part of a $2K offer, and that's, you get that for life, which is nuts. So And then here's just one of these little things I like to do just to keep my relationship with my list. Because I know I'm sending a lot of emails a week, but you won't believe how many people email me after a sale saying they didn't know it was happening. Also, it's my birthday, so I'll do what I want to. Haha. Right? So there you go. Just another real direct email. Again, a lot of this is direct. At this point, my goal is that I've done a lot of the preemptive relationship building and stuff that they get to this point and they go, okay, I don't need a bunch of preamble. I just want to buy the right thing. This was sent again to 30-day openers. Now, this was sent to everybody, including people who had bought 90 Days to Freedom. And this is all more complex than it has to be. The first sale I didn't have to exclude anyone or anything like that. I just did this because I wanted to do this in the most ethical way possible. And so I excluded people. If you don't want to do that, I wouldn't recommend doing it that way. I would just have everything in one email. And again, one more time of just sort of saying, there's 4 hours left to save 70% off. You have no fucking clue how many people buy in these last 4 hours, man. It's nuts. I think we were at like 35,000 when I sent this email, 40,000 for the day. And by the time the day ended, it was at 60,000. So an extra $25,000 coming in the last 4 hours alone. It's just nuts. It might have even been more than that. Final links. I've only ever sold this, so all this stuff here. And just again, you seriously want to understand how much I appreciate you for being on my list. Without you, I wouldn't have the life I have. For that, I'm so grateful. And that's all just true. My lifestyle happens because of this list and all that I've built here. So I'm genuinely grateful for all of this. So I think this is the final email of the main promo. And then if you want to do this, this is an option to do, and you can see the opens on this are absolutely absurd. 30-day openers, PayPal payment accepted. From Ian Pal, I've opened my laptops twice. I really had only been on my laptop twice that week. And the first sale I did, I wasn't even touching my computer. It was really cool to just see all the money come in. So I was trying to set up PayPal, and then I found out you can do the Samcart thing where they have these payment plans and all this stuff. So it's like, let's make this available to people, or they could just send the payment directly to my PayPal. Now, what's surprising is this one didn't do as well as I thought it was going to do. I'll be straight up with you. The first time I did this, it was like another 20 grand or something. This was, I think, made another 6 to 10,000. So, but again, that's $6 to $10,000 in profit. And a lot of people just want to pay with PayPal, even though PayPal's a fucking pain in the ass, and they will freeze accounts and do all sorts of weird stuff for absolutely no reason. Just know that. But it is extra free money, and so it was still worth sending this because a lot of people we're thinking about these sales and you go, oh, we're annoying people. We're not annoying people. We're giving them, selling 90 days for 1914 meant that I got to help a bunch of people get a course that can change their life that never would have been able to get it otherwise. So I feel good about pushing this and promoting it and putting it out there. And so giving people this opportunity is a benefit. It's not necessarily a negatively received thing. Now, obviously, you're going to get higher unsubscribes and things in an email like this that says PayPal accepted, but I don't really care because those people aren't my people. It's not deceptive. I literally say we now accept PayPal payments. It's very clear. This isn't meant to be like a deceiving email that, misleads them. I even put, once we get PayPal payment received, we'll set you up. So you can do this in two ways. One is to have the PayPal links in a Samcart checkout page. The other is they just send it to that email with the products they want, and then Whitney goes in and individually sets each person up because you can't have it auto-linked through PayPal, which is, again, a silly thing. So there you have it. There's really the whole thing. So to kind of recap what worked so well, a few products. Just focus on a few things. Don't focus on a million different products or sending people to a page that explains everything. Do as much of the heavy lifting in the emails as you can, because 1 to 3 to 5, sometimes 10% if you write an insane clicky email will actually click and check something out. But we don't want to assume they've clicked and left the email. We want to give them as much information in the email itself so that they can make a buying decision whether they click or not. And so, yeah. And if you ever want to go watch the webinar, if you were on the list, you can go back and look at these emails and stuff. But I'd highly recommend at least giving this a shot once in your life for a client or for yourself. It just works really well. People are all happy to be hearing from you. And then here's one more mistake I made that I want to tell you guys about. The first sale, another reason why the last one, the first ever 30-year-old one did so well is I just promoted a product where I got like 400 new buyers on my list. like the week before. So a bunch of people I think were new, but were good buyers, and so they bought. The first time that what I was doing is in the morning, I was sending these emails, these 33 things I learned, which are just these really, it's like me being a good writer, actually sharing, my beliefs. And so when you send these during a birthday sale, you're going to get a lot of people who now they really like you and have a relationship. So I would recommend sending these either before or during the sale itself as like a non-sales email with no links. And then sending your sales emails separate from it, because this is what gives people that sort of relationship to you. And then there's one more in here, which was the 4 confessions, which again, I should have sent this during, but you guys always got to understand, I'm pretty lazy and I'm not always doing the best thing, but I'm doing the best thing for my lifestyle. That's what I care about. And so this was sent after, which should have really sent prior to my birthday, because this would have had more people really on my team when the sale came about. So focus on a few core offers. I think doing expensive stuff is the way to go, and then you can sell something cheap the next week as sort of a, hey, people say I'm an asshole and only sell expensive stuff, blah, blah, blah. Or just focus on one offer. Like if you only have a few offers or you have one core one, just do a massive birthday sale of one thing. If I was selling only one thing, who knows, it might have done insanely well. But so I'd say the less stuff you focus on, the better this is going to do, and the more it gives you the opportunity to really hammer certain offers and certain hooks and stuff, rather than a bunch of things at once. So hopefully this is helpful to you. Please let us know if you really enjoyed this, and I might start making this part of the Emails of the Month Club in general, is doing breakdowns like this. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all soon.